Hey, what's up, TruExperience Nation? If you're new around here, welcome. We're so glad to have you. I'm Richie McCaney. My wife is Amanda. And guys, we're on a mission. And that mission is to help you learn how to experience your best life as we're learning to do the same. We've accomplished a few things. We read a lot of books. We're into personal development. And the things that we figured out and the things we're improving on, we're sharing with you guys. We are going over the book Atomic Habits, and we're going through James Clear. He's the author of this book. Amazing stuff when it comes to structuring habits, how to experience your best life through controlling your behaviors. So many people want improvement. They want progress. They want to be able to earn more money. They want to have more friends. They want, to be better parents. All of those things can stem from learning how to control your behaviors and build better habits. That's what we're talking about. If that's something you like, if that's something you're interested in, you go ahead and follow the page. Go to the playlist that we have, Atomic Habits, and if you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about social norms. It's important. This applies to everybody. I don't care who you are. Social norms, they are shaping your behavior. They're shaping your habits. This might be one of my favorite chapters in here. I'm fascinated with this particular topic, okay? Birds of a feather flock together. Even if the flock is wrong. I'm telling you, it's crazy. You have to listen to some of these studies they do. But let's talk about the seductive pull of social norms. Guys, we want to fit in. Okay? We want to bond with more people. We want to be liked. We want to have certain statuses. We want to be a part of a tribe and a group and a flock where we have something in common with these folks, where we fit in. And like, if you think about it, your earliest habits that you develop in life, they're not your own. They're not like your choice that you develop them. You're locked into a system. Your friends and family, if you go to church, the schoolyard, whatever kind of, group you may be a part of young in life, you adopt those habits, you adopt those behaviors because you want to fit in. Here's what's interesting. Each one of those groups, they kind of have their own little set of rules. What's acceptable or cool or hip at school is going to be different than what's, cool and hip and appropriate at a church. And so you're going to let these groups, they kind of have these, like unspoken rules of behavior. And in order for you to fit in, you're going to follow those habits and follow those behaviors. All right. It's important to understand. Now, this is cool because once we identify that, we can start to control and dictate what behaviors we want. When we know that fitting in with the group, this behavior fits in with the group, it makes it a lot more attractive. And that's the goal. We want it to be attractive. That's where we're at. We're here with the cravings. We want things to be attractive, these behaviors to be something we want to do. And so they broke it down. There's 3 primary groups or sections that we tend to imitate. All right. That's the close. That's the many. That's the powerful. Let's talk about the close. Guys, we are going to adopt and pick up the behaviors of the people we are closest to. The closest you are to somebody, the more likely you are to pick up their habits. Okay. That's why you got these people who are best friends. They experience things together. They do the same thing. They kind of dress the same way. They share each other's clothes. Listen to this study these people did. I don't know who is conducting these studies, but it sounds like a terrible job, but they be doing some research. They straight put these people Truman Show style. They followed 12,000 people for 30 years. I don't know how they followed them. I don't know if they had secret cameras everywhere. I don't know if they was hiding in the bushes. I don't know if they reported in. I don't know, okay? It's not important. What is important is that they follow these people for 12,000 years. They followed 12,000 people for 30 years, and what they found out that if you have a fat friend, okay, politically correct in the book obese, but we know what we're talking about. That if you had a fat friend, that your chances of being fat as well increased by 57%. That's a big increase. I don't want a 50% increase that I'm gonna be overweight or that I'm gonna pick up, drugs or, whatever undesirable behavior there is. But that's the truth. Think about it, bro. If you hanging out with somebody and these are your fit friends and all they talk about is working out and exercising and drinking water, if that's the group you identify with and want to fit in with, you're going to start to adopt those behaviors. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the trick when it comes to making your behaviors desired. Join a culture or a group of people, a flock, a tribe, where your desired behavior is that culture's normal behavior. Does that make sense? Like, it seems like, well, duh, but it's not something I feel like we consciously think about. That's why we tell people to take note. Take note of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to make more money, spend time with people who make more money, who know how to invest, who understand the value of investment and coachings and things like that. If you don't and you got a bunch of broke friends, that's why you're the average of the 5 closest people you hang out with. That's true. And it comes about picking up their behaviors, their habits, and wanting to fit in. So if you want to change some of your behaviors, you don't have to dump the other people, but find a group where what's normal for them is your desired habit. If you want to get in shape, go start hanging out with people where it's normal for them to go to the gym. It's just part of that culture. You'll be more likely to go to the gym as well. Here's a trick. Go ahead and join a group where you have something else in common, because if you are absolutely opposed to working out and you join a group trying to force it, you're not going to really feel like you belong. You're going to seem like you're faking it and there's no connecting thing there. And so you won't feel like it is. You'll go against the group and you'll leave. So the goal is to pick a group where you already have something else in common, a connecting point, and then adopt the other behaviors that they have. There was a cool gym, and I forget what it's called. It's called like Geek Gym, Nerd Gym. And the point is, it's geared towards nerds, like people who play video games, people who read comic books, people who like Star Wars. And the idea was that a lot of those people typically, they in their mama's basement, okay? They live in their mama's basement. I like Star Wars. I got it on the wall over here. I love video games. I'm in all that kind of stuff. I got lucky. I got out. Got out of my mama's basement. But listen, the point is, a lot of those folks, they don't work out all the time. They don't see the sun. They come out from the games and they're like, oh my goodness, I got Cheetos all over my face and Mountain Dew cans everywhere. They don't feel comfortable going to the gym. They don't feel like they belong. Well, this gym is designed for geeks. And so when they go, they got something in common. Oh man, let's talk about Star Wars. Let's hang out. Let's play. Man, you playing Pokemon? I got you. Now they can pick up the behavior of working out together. So I thought it was a really neat gym, but you understand the concept. It's important that we want to fit in with people. They go on in this book to talk about there's no better way to sustain motivation than being a part of a tribe. And that's so true. Like, we find people we connect to. You love this group. You're excited to be a part of this group. And if this is what the group does, it keeps you motivated. If you're working business and you're hanging around with a bunch of business people, and when they got their free time, they're making calls, they're doing meetings, they're, doing whatever they got to do with their business, you do the same thing. You stay motivated because it's in a constant pressure. You're getting, basically, if you understand what we've been talking about, you get these constant cues. Now you have the craving to fit in and you adopt the behavior. So I hope that makes sense. Like that, I love that. That we spent more time on the close because I think it might be one of the most important. Now, let's go on and talk about the many. This one was very, very interesting. We look for groups to guide us. Okay, this is I'm going to explain the mob mentality like this. The angry mob, and you think, why aren't these people so ignorant? It's because they're not thinking. They're just following what the mob is doing because it's the many. Listen to this study. We look for the group to guide us. There was a study done, right, where they hired actors in this little test group where you brought in one test subject who didn't know they was a test subject and all the actors around them who they didn't know were actors. And they had a cue card, right? They had like a cue card on a table that had a line on it. And then there was another cue card that had 3 lines, all different lengths. Your job was to pick A, B, and C on which one was identical to the single line, which one matched up the closest. Well, they did a few, standard ones where everybody agreed and it was all good. And then they had all the actors at once pick another one. They say, oh no, B. B is the closest to the sample. And the test subject, who did not know what was going on, was looking around nervously. They laughed. They were shocked. They was like, no. That's not right. Like, it doesn't match up. They found out that 75% of people who knew in their hearts the answer was wrong, but still conformed and went with the group because it was easier. I'm fascinated with it. I think it's like insane that happens, but it's true. Even though they know it's wrong, they still go with the flock. That's why I say birds of a feather flock together, even if the flock is wrong. Now, when it was one person, didn't matter. The guy's a dummy. 2 people didn't have much impact. When it increased to 3, 4, even 8, that's when they started to conform and change their answer. Even though it was just as obvious, it was just as obvious. But listen to this, guys. The reward of going with the group is oftentimes more powerful than going against it. Going against the group is unattractive. Going with the group is attractive. So understand that, because once we do understand that, you can start to think a little bit more and catch yourself if the group starts doing something that doesn't really identify. So listen to this. The group identity starts to reinforce your personal identity. You gotta take note, man. You need to understand. I want y'all to be in control of your life. I don't want it to be dictated by the expectations of other people. Now, it's okay to fit in with a group. Let's talk about the third group, the powerful. Guys, what do we say at the beginning? We want prestige. We want power. We want this level of status. Heck, we spend all this time, once we find a group and get in, we start to find a way to stand out so that we can have that power, that prestige, that I'm going to stand out. We want the president and vice president attached to our name. We want the bars on our arm. Like, we want the recognition. We want the praise. A lot of times people think that's just purely vain, but if you think about it from a cultural standpoint, our basic instinct is survival. We want to survive. And statistically speaking, I don't care if it's in a tribe, I don't care if it's way back in the paleo days, the people who had more statuses and more power, they had more resources available to them. They were a more attractive mate. These are the basic instincts for survival. And so at least that we understand that, we are attracted to behaviors that earn us those statuses. So a lot of times we want to mimic the people that we, maybe even envy, or that we, kind of idolize or look up to, or just kind of like, wow, they got some things that I would like. And so what are their behaviors? This person's highly successful. So what are the 7 habits of highly successful people? That's a very popular book. People wants to know what they're doing, and they want to adapt those behaviors so that they can have that same status, okay? Now that we understand that, that's important. The true thing that we need to know and understand is, if you want to change your behavior, we need to make it attractive. One way to make it attractive is to find a group of people where their normal behavior of that group is your desired behavior. If you link yourself to a group you already have something in common with, it'll make it that much easier. The group identity will reinforce your personal identity, and you'll start to believe, think, say, and mimic the things of that group. And so that's why like masterminding and focus groups and choosing your friends is important. I don't want people to be blown away like a tumbleweed where they're so desperate to fit in. There's so many people who don't belong. Like, there's so many people who feel, let me rephrase that. There's so many people who feel like they don't belong, and they're looking for that closeness. They're looking for that tribe. And if they find a tribe that will accept them, regardless if that tribe is good for them or not, whether they have good practices or good habits or not, they'll lock in. That's why you see people, that's one of the reasons why you see folks who just, they stay on these drugs or they stay in these situations that aren't good. And it's like, why are you hanging out with these people? Because they feel accepted. And I don't want nobody lying, talking about they all about completely standing out and they are loner and they want to be all by themselves. You still seek to be part of somebody you have stuff in common with. Heck, even in school, we'd have the goth folks that had the black lipstick, black fingernail polish. And I remember them saying, I'm unique. I want to be different. I just want to be me. I don't want to fit in with everybody else. But then they go and hang out with everybody that wears black trench coats and nail polish. Like they hang out with the same people. And that's cool, but understand that that's normal. That's what we look for. And so that's one way to change your behavior to make it more attractive. I'm fascinated with this. And I think this is important. If anybody is a team leader out there, hint, hint, you want to make your team identity the habits and behaviors that you want everybody to take that's good. So if you're leading, that's one way to lead a team. Make them feel plugged in to your team, to your environment, to your culture, and hopefully those cultures have sound and integrity principles that help lead that person to better themselves. If you make them feel involved, they'll start to adapt and adopt those behaviors. They'll start walking more, they'll start drinking more water, they'll start exercising, they'll start working their business or whatever the case is for that particular group. And so guys, thank y'all so much. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I really like this lesson a whole lot. I'm not sure. I'm getting on a plane to go to Dallas tonight. And so more than likely, I'll probably stick with this book. I just won't be putting it on YouTube. So that's just how that'll be. It'll be on Facebook though. I'll be going live. If you enjoy these little lives and learning how to experience your best life, do me a favor, like the video, share this out, bring some folks on in so that we can help them as well. But guys, thank y'all so much for watching, and until tomorrow, I'm out.